Alright, what's up, y'all? We're back, and of course, more departure news from WWE. This is a little bit wild today, but before I get into what we're going to talk about here, shout out to the folks that came through to watch the video from last night. I mean, I'm not going to try to act like 31 vids, or 31 views on a vid is anything to be special, especially even to be topped off with 2 likes, which I wanted to point that out because that doesn't typically happen with a lot of my videos, at least as of yet, and that's something I'm looking to change here, so hopefully we can keep that going. So yeah, if you enjoy what you see here and everything else that has been brought to the table here at A&J Network, definitely go ahead, hit me with a like, definitely comment down below, and share if you, definitely share, please. I mean, want to see if people come check this out and enjoy it just as well as you do, but all the same, you know, I mentioned before earlier, we talked about the departure of R-Truth. He actually announced this on X earlier this morning. Similar situation here, only with Carlito, and I say similar for actually a variety of reasons. Much like Truth, at least at one point in time, Carlito was a very tenured performer with WWE, although that was years ago. I'm thinking, oh gosh, goes back to, I want to say like 02, 03, all the way up to about maybe 2010, 2012, if I recall correctly. I'm not entirely sure. And then, of course, he was brought back in 2023, specifically at 2023 Backlash, which that was San Juan, Puerto Rico's Backlash, probably my favorite Backlash of all, so that's where it's a little bit wild to think about this, but yeah, it seems as though he's not getting his contract renewed. Of course, as we all know, he was a member of Judgment Day, and where it really gets intriguing here is what happens with Judgment Day from here, because, well, there are actually layers to that aspect. One, we got to actually ask a very, very serious question when it comes to that. What really was Carlito's purpose within Judgment Day, if we're being perfectly honest? And I think the biggest reason I have to ask that, in truth, is specifically, well, let's just not beat around the bush about it. He wasn't doing shit, alright? He wasn't doing shit. You know, he was just there. I mean, was he a factor when it came to, like, running interference and doing all those things needed to, I guess, sort of ensure that Judgment Day was getting over in their matches? Yeah, and of course that didn't always happen, but that's more shit between Dom and Finn. Carlito wasn't even a relevant factor in any of that. So, that being said, in fact, what's even funnier now that I think about that is the fact that the reason Carlito joined Judgment Day was to have protection from the group he was with, but ultimately betrayed going into WrestleMania 40 last year in the LWO. Only crazy thing about it is LWO didn't even think about going near him even when they were brought to Monday Night Raw. So I was like, alright, that basically didn't serve any real purpose. There was no payoff from that. And to top that off, Selena Vega, who was also part of LWO, fellow Puerto Rican of Carlitos, is once again back on SmackDown and is now the U.S. Women's Champion. So, you see all these things that are happening. And of course, when it comes to LWO, there's also Del Toro and Cruz, who I don't think we've seen on TV in at least a good handful of weeks. It might be at least a month or so. I'm not sure. Y'all have to let me know down below if I'm correct on that or not. But either way, probably going to hear about a departure from them too if we don't see them anytime soon. I mean, you would think they'd probably be able to find their way onto the All Worlds Collide card, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So Yeah, hard to say what's happening there, but yeah, really hard to say what's gonna happen here with Carlito. And oddly enough, I think I mentioned this. It's not like he's getting anywhere near the attention on this that Truth is. I've been on X and I'm seeing so many people who are just like they're really out there for Truth. They're just like showing a lot of well wishes, like so many different posts, and apparently there's an awful lot of backlash being thrown at WWE's way on behalf of our Truth. But again, I don't know if that the same could be said about Carlito at all. And yeah, just kind of wild to think about that. But either way, yeah, that's all I really got there for that. Yeah, really interesting stuff to see this happening today. And June 1st, that's really wild. It just so happens to be June 1st we're talking about these departures to be, as Carlito still has a couple of weeks left on his contract. But given that this has been revealed, I think it's very, very safe to say we're likely not going to see him on Monday Night Raw tomorrow or moving forward whatsoever. And yeah, that's pretty much all I know to say about that. I guess that means this spot's the one that's being opened up for Ricky Saints. I don't know. Either way, yeah, wild shit. I'm gonna go ahead and bounce on this one for now, but yeah, I'm gonna try to go live. I know I said I was going to. It's a little tricky. I ended up, like I said, taking a nap unexpectedly, and it wound a little longer than I wanted. But hey, we'll see about getting going here. I don't know if I'll be on as long as I originally planned. We'll just see. But either way, yeah, thanks for coming through. Y'all know what it is. Again, like, share, subscribe down below, and let me know what y'all think. Also, this is really wild stuff. But yeah, I'll see y'all.